Hey, what is up, guys? This is Mr. Barrel Thief coming at you guys again for a video about how we're going to be successful in a wipe or on a wipe day if you're playing solo, you know, or if you're like in a group of 2 or 3. So basically, first thing you want to do is you want to collect enough wood to make a spear, because on a wipe day it's going to be pretty hectic, so you want to be able to defend yourself. Also, after you get a spear going, you probably want to find out where you want to set up. And this is probably the most important part of the whole entire guide, where you set up. So you can go ahead and set up anywhere you want, but the problem is if you set up somewhere like right here, you're going to be pretty far away from roads or rad towns, so you're going to have to walk pretty far distances, and whenever you go farming, you're probably going to die, things like that. So where I like to set up is on like these little fork things that are usually near the gas stations or supermarkets, because there's recyclers there, and recyclers are super important because you can grind stuff down, get metal frags, high coal, things like that, everything to get you started. So I usually like to start on a road because you can get some pretty good barrel farming and loot boxes on roads. So I usually like to, my favorite places to start is like near forks and roads and things like that. And also there's airfield really close, so we have that bigger rad town with better loot super close by, so whenever we want to go doing that, that's a good thing too. So wherever you do decide to set up, make sure you set up near like a gas station or supermarket, or like, you know, the small areas if you are a solo player, because it's going to be really hard to do anything like large treatment plant or something like launch site, because the bigger clans and groups are going to be going in that and just taking you out every time. So setting up in like smaller area first is probably the best thing, so you can get like guns and stuff like that. Also, another thing I want to talk about, my dudes, is, so basically, if you're having a really hard time on, like, the regular, you know, official servers, maybe try, like, the duo, trio servers, like the solo duo trio. So, on those, the largest group you're going to find is going to only be, like, a group of 3. Most of the time, you can find in either duos or solos like yourself, so fighting is going to be a lot easier. Also, if you really don't like PvPing, like you just get killed a lot, maybe even try playing not on wipe day, but the night of wipe day, and even like if that's gonna be stressful for you, try playing the next day, because there will be definitely a lot less people. But anyways, other than that, you want to just get your weapon as fast as possible. The next thing I like to do after getting a spear is you probably want to go to either the gas station or whatever, or the marketplace, whatever you're close to, and you want to farm up enough you want to farm up enough stuff to break it all down and make metal frags, so you can get a code lock going. Because, you know, you could go with the key lock, but, you know, this is super easy to lose. Who knows, you might get killed, your base might get tipped over. So yeah, I don't know, I don't really like going key locks right off, because it's pretty easy to die with those and lose your whole entire base, and everything you've worked for is just gone. Plus, to the gas station, you can get 100 frags right after that pretty quickly. As you can see, I now have enough to make a code lock real quick, so it took me just like, I don't know, 2 minutes to get that. So yeah, that's pretty easy. Next up, where you want to set up. So we're just going to head up somewhere in this area, somewhere that's out of view of the road, but we can still get to the road pretty closely. So we can head up either the mine's outpost or the gas station pretty fast. So I took the initiative of building like a little 2x2, pretty outside of the road as you can see, so it makes me less of a target. I'm still close to each of the roads, so I can go to gas station easily, mining outpost, or even airfield. So the thing is, people like to build like big bases right from the start, but here's the thing, when you first start, you basically want to build like basically just a small starter base. This 2x2 in my opinion is perfect, or even if it's on weekday and it's super hectic, you can go ahead and just build a 1x1. In my opinion, that's fine too. You can fit everything you need in a 1x1, basically until you're ready to like get started with something else. So I don't know, just a 1x1 is fine in my opinion, especially if you're a solo player. You know, you can fit a bag, furnace, and a chest, everything to get you started towards your next 2x2. Also, you can, like with a 1x1, you could probably use a key lock if you didn't want to go to the code lock. So that's another useful thing about a 1x1. Anyways, guys, let me go ahead and show you my 1x1, my 2x2 setup. So with this base, this is going to be my all-in-one base rather than building a starter base and then building a total big base, like building a second base. So this, I have 2 loot rooms, so this is going to have a total of 8 boxes total. So I'll salvage shelves in here, salvage shelves in there, and I'm going to go ahead and put 4 boxes in each. So you get great amounts of loot, you can put a furnace in here and everything. And the nice thing about this base is you can like expand it. So basically, what I'm trying to say though is just start small. Because if you try to build anything big in the beginning, you're probably going to get killed. And yeah, you're just going to get killed super easy. So just start small, you know? Yeah, but anyways, as you guys can see, this base is super expandable. You can build it all around. So yeah, just remember to start with a small base and then go to a bigger base. So another thing is people really like to go out and just farm a bunch of resources to build up their base. But in my opinion, you should focus on collecting scrap and hitting barrels, basically getting blueprints and stuff like that. So just, in my opinion, you should just farm the roads and farm the marketplace, the rad towns for the majority of the beginning of wipe day, so you can learn those important BPs, like for example the pickaxe, and maybe get lucky and find the revolver. So the reason I think this is so important is because if you do find a revolver on the first day of wipe, it's going to give you a huge advantage as soon as your research done. So that it's just going to give you a massive advantage. Also, another thing you should do is build a research bench and build a research bench and a workbench as fast as possible, so you can research those BPs and get those going. Because as soon as you get going to, it's going to give you a huge advantage in PvP. Now, the next thing I want to talk about how to be successful on a wipe is basically don't be afraid to go out and fight. Basically, that's the biggest thing about Rust. Rust is all about PvP, and it's how you get better. I mean, if you stay in your base all day and just hoard your stuff, you're probably going to get raided anyways. You know, if you keep your guns in there, you're just going to lose them. So you're either going to lose those guns by people raiding you, or like by the server wiping. So you're going to lose it all eventually. So there's just no reason to not go out and use the stuff you've gotten. So for example, if you get 7 rifles, don't hoard it, go ahead and use it. Who knows, maybe you'll make a play. That's what all Rust is all about. It's about getting better. So the more fights you get in, the better you're going to get. It's better to lose it by dying rather than, you know, losing it by like getting raided or the server wiping, because then you won't even have fun with it. And you know, that's what Rust is all about, in my opinion. It's just having fun during the game. So if you're having fun and you're just afraid about dying the whole time, then it's not going to be like a fun experience. So that's the biggest problem I think a lot of people have. That's the problem I used to have. So basically, I would get guns like semi rifles and stuff like that, and I would be afraid to go out and use them. Basically, I'd hoard them in my base the whole wipe, and I just wouldn't have any fun. And that's the thing though. If you go out and use them, maybe you'll make a play. Maybe you'll get an AK. You know, maybe you're like use your semi rifle you just got to go kill someone with it. Like, and grab, you know, get that AK to research that. So just remember, guys, have fun. Don't feel too bad about bringing yourself out, because you're gonna lose it no matter what, anyways. So you might as well have a little bit of fun bringing out your guns, and don't get scared. Don't hoard it in your base, and that's the problem a lot of people get hooked up with. But anyways, the next thing is, don't hoard all the stuff you get from barrels, guys, because a lot of people like to do that too. As you can see, I've gotten like all these metal frags and all this cycwall and all this wood is from me scrapping. So you can get a lot of resources from scrapping. It can help you build your base, make your weapons and stuff like that. So another thing I want to explain, guys, is to be successful in Rust, you have to put in hours. That's just what Rust is all about. Farming the scrap, farming resources, basically just doing that. Because I mean, you're gonna have to put time into Rust. It's just that kind of game. It's not a game where you can just. It's not a game where you can get on just for like 3 hours or 2 hours and, you know, have fun like Ark. It's a game where you have to go out, spend some time, like tons of hours, and farm. Either way, you're going to be stuck behind, not having guns when everyone else has guns. You'll just have crossbows, and it's going to be really hard to fight other people and win. That's another point I want to point across. You can't really be successful in Rust unless you put the hours in by farming and getting those BPs. So another thing is, if you're a solo player, you're not going to be able to get all the BPs through, going through these gas stations and going to mining outposts and farming the roads. So trading is another important thing, and with the BP system, you kind of have to trade them. And sometimes it's worth it giving more to get something that's giving something that's not as much worth it. For example, I gave a C4 to learn the AK, and in my opinion, it was completely worth it, because then I could make C4 and AKs, and sometimes it's just worth it for those kind of deals. So make sure just to, you know, go ahead and go do trading, because trading is vitally important, and without it you probably won't be getting everything everything you need, like for example satchels and bean cans. Some of it can be pretty hard to find. So all I'm trying to say is do some trading, my dudes. Also, another thing is don't be scared to go out and fight people. I mean, that's just how you get better at Rust. In my opinion, don't fret about it. Don't worry about losing stuff. Just think about what you can gain from fighting people. And the more you fight people, the better you're gonna get. And eventually, you know, one day you'll be good enough to hold out your own. You won't be worried about losing stuff because you'll know that you're good enough. The only thing you have to worry about is getting zerged, or, you know, killed by a bunch of people, or just someone who's a little bit better than you. But then again, you can always play it on trio, solo, duo servers where there's a lot less people, my dudes. So in conclusion, guys, to give a quick little recap, basically, here are the biggest things you want to do. So you want to set up small, and with a base it's pretty small. So you want to set up near roads so you can quick, easy access to farming barrels and farming the rad towns, because that's what you're going to want to do during the majority of your wipe days. You want to worry more about farming scrap and like you know, the roads and barrels and stuff, so you can find the BPs for guns and pickaxes and all the important stuff. And worry more about farming to make your base bigger later during the night. Don't worry about getting into PvP, as it'll make you better as a player. I'm going to say this again just to reinforce it. Farm the rad towns. Farm the barrels, as you'll get so you can actually find weapons and guns to research, things like that, to make it easier to fight. Another thing is make sure to trade with other players. Try a solo, duo, trio server if you're a solo player. Make sure you put hours in the game if you do want to be successful. That's one of the few ways to be successful, is actually putting hours. If you don't put hours in the game, you're just going to get steamrolled by the guys who put, like, you know, 10 hours, 20 hours into the game. But other than that, guys, I don't have much to say other than making sure you guys do PvP, as it'll make you better as a player. So, guys, I will be making a part to this video if I get enough likes, just to make sure if I did leave anything out, we'll be added in that second video, because I'm not sure. I kind of just do this freehand, so I'm never really sure if I do leave stuff out. But if I did, make sure to leave it in the comments, and if I do get enough likes, I'll add it in my next video, my dudes. Also, if it did help you or you did enjoy it, make sure to click that like button and subscribe, my dudes, if you want to see more videos. I am going to be doing a solo or maybe even a dual series where it's just me and maybe one other dude on a solo, duo, trio server, just to prove that it is easy. Well, not easy, but it is possible to do a solo run. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is Mr. Barrel Thief signing out.